Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at installing Microsoft SQL Server Express on a Windows 10 PC. We have already downloaded the 64-bit version of SQL Server Express 2014 with tools. We've located the download file, and we can just right-click on it and run as administrator. It'll take a little bit for the extraction for the install to start, so we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and we're ready to start the install process. We are going to select new SQL Server standalone installation from the Installation Center menu here. Once you've clicked on that option, the installer should start momentarily, allowing you to select the different features and rules that you want to apply for your installation. So we'll start here with accepting the Microsoft license terms and clicking Next. There's a quick check for rules on the PC. And you can, if you'd like, allow the installer to check for any updates using the Microsoft Update tool. So we'll go ahead and do that. If there's any updates, this installer would automatically download them and apply them to the install package. And it looks like there is none. So we move on to our feature selection, and for this video we're just going to go ahead and install the default selection here. Mainly we're interested in the SQL Server database engine and the management tools that come with the installer. Once you've selected your features, you can just click Next. Here's where you can name your SQL Server instance. There is no other instances installed on this PC, so we're going to leave the default of SQL Express and click Next. We're going to leave again the defaults here on the server configuration, clicking Next. Here's an important step. By default, the Windows authentication mode is enabled for this SQL Server instance. We're going to go ahead and enable mixed mode and specify SQL Administrator SA account password. The reason for this is if we went and changed, for example, the username on the PC or moved the database, it's possible that we'd no longer have access to it if the user doesn't exist or isn't on the PC of the database. So by specifying a password here, we can enable Windows authentication mode along with SQL Server authentication. So we've entered a password and confirmed the password, and we will click Next. So the installation process will begin, and this will take a couple minutes, so we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. The installation process can take several minutes, upwards of 10 minutes depending on the PC, but we can see now in the complete dialog window here that all of the tools and features that we've installed have succeeded. So we can go ahead and close the setup window. From here, we're also going to close the Installation Center and just take a look at the SQL Server install, and just to verify that we can connect to the new SQL Server instance. So we can do that by opening the SQL Server Management Studio. You can see it might be in the recently added options, so depending on your version of Windows, if you are using Windows 10, you can also use the shortcut here, and we're going to look for Microsoft SQL Server 2014, and we're going to scroll down and look for SQL Server 2014 Management Studio. By clicking on that, it'll open up the SQL Server Management Studio where we can connect to different databases. Again, if you recall, our database was named SQL Express, and we should be able to just connect to it immediately with our Windows credentials. Again, if we wanted to, we could use the SA account to connect, but for now we're just going to use the default Windows connection. Okay, so we can see the connect to server dialog here. We're going to just go ahead and say connect. And there we can see that we're able to connect to the instance SQL Express. And if we look under databases, we can see that the default system tables or system databases are there, and we are connected. So the installation was successful, and we can connect to the database. So that will conclude this short video on the SQL Server Express installation.